If you're struggling with a reactive dog, you're going to want to check out this video. Greetings and welcome to a Conversations with a Dog Trainer video, or maybe it's welcome back to a Conversations with a Dog Trainer video. One aspect that is often overlooked in working with reactive dogs is instead of distracting them, instead of diverting their attention into treats and toys and play and obedience, is simply getting them to do nothing. The concept of doing nothing is foreign to a lot of dogs, reactive and not. Think of it like people waiting in line at a bank, at Starbucks, standing around doing nothing. In this day and age, everybody is swiping on their phone. No one can just have a calm moment alone in their thoughts. Just allow the world to go by. Most people don't even recognize it or aren't even aware of what's going on around them. The reactive dog, on the other hand, is hyper-vigilant, hyper-aware, and involving themselves in everything. I'm trying to show the reactive dog that that's external. It's not part of us. It doesn't matter to us. So getting a dog to do nothing is definitely important. Now, how we get there, the recipe changes from dog to dog to dog. Some dogs we can get very quickly into doing nothing. Other dogs, we really have to give them a task to shift their focus. The recipe changes from dog to dog. Anyone who tells you they have a system, the system, that's a sign of someone who's fairly limited training-wise, because what they're saying is they have one way. It's like hiring a contractor who has a skill set, a tool set, and if your house doesn't work for their skill set or tool set, they're kind of stuck. So it's important to be flexible in training and know that we want to get to that end point with the dog, but the ingredients and the recipe of how we get there is going to vary depending on the individual dog. It's going to come down to the dog's drives, the dog's temperament, the dog's life experience, the dog's DNA, how much bad reinforcement has gone on. There's a lot in this. I'm going to timestamp this one for you, therefore you can skip forward to the parts that you find most interesting or relevant. Or if you want, stick around and watch the whole thing. Personally, I think this is a fascinating topic. I've got examples of human reactive dogs, dog reactive dogs doing nothing. I've got examples of two dog reactive dogs while I'm sitting there and they're just minding their business. One of them is even maybe trying to play a little bit. I've got another dog reactive dog that is in training on day 2 and just neutral to the other dog around it. In that case, we're not doing nothing because it's day 2. I had to get her to do something, and you'll see that in the video. And then finally, I've got that same dog in another clip where I'm doing a consult with a reactive dog, and now she's doing nothing. Now it's a week into her training, and already I can just bring her in cold. She doesn't know there's a dog there, and I'm not asking her for anything, and she's just kind of, okay, there's a dog in the environment. Reactive dogs, if you want to understand this at its core, they get too emotional. They have big feelings. And they are programmed and conditioned to over-respond to things. So instead of saying, a bottle of water, it's, oh my God, a bottle of water. Or, oh God, a bottle of water, and I have to run away, or I have to chase the bottle away. It's too much. It's just a bottle of water. It's just a dog. It's just a car. It's just a person. So we have to change the picture in the picture frame. The picture in the frame is a distorted one. It's too intense. It's too big. It's either too scary, too stimulating. It's just too much. And I want to show the dog that in this context, it is actually possible to do nothing. As I said, the recipe that I use to get there is going to be different. Every dog's history is different. Every dog's genetic makeup is different. Every dog's experience in terms of how they've been handled and reinforced and conditioned, different. So I'm going to kind of mix the ingredients. I know what I want the soup to taste like, but how I'm going to get there is going to be a little bit different with each dog. So we're going to take a look at these examples and I'll break them down for you and then I'll show you the clips. In this first example, I've got Leo, the French Bulldog, with me at Starbucks. We're hanging out outside. I already got my double espresso shot and now we're just out training. And I want to show the dog that even when I'm not engaging you, even when I'm not locking you down with a command, that we can just watch the world go by. And we're right near the door. We're far back enough that we're not in anybody's way. I certainly don't want someone to feel uncomfortable, because I've got a dog there. And I don't want to make it too challenging for Leo, but we're close enough that people are definitely in what would have been his red zone before. And a lady walks by, a bunch of people walk by, but one lady in particular stops to talk to us, and you can see she's a dog lover, and she's very polite, which goes a long way these days because a lot of people just try to walk right up and touch a dog without asking. She was super polite and just, hey, nice dog. And I had to tell her he's not easy with people. She couldn't tell. The average person watching can't tell. He just looks like a curious dog hanging out. That's the sign that we're really on track. If I have to tell someone because they can't see it from the dog is not expressing it with his body language, then that's really good. So here's Leo at Starbucks. Hey, buddy. Oh. Oh, good. Good, 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 good. Good, 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 good. Come on. Thanks. He doesn't like strangers.
He doesn't like strangers?
No, he's getting more and more comfortable, but he's not easy with people.
He's beautiful.
Thank you. So letting a dog just observe and do nothing has a lot of value, provided you can get the dog to do nothing. With a dog like Leo, getting him to do nothing is most of the work. And then he can just watch the world go by like a movie. Let's go, Lee. See, dogs are creatures just like us. They have programmed responses. They fall into conditioned responses. And if the conditioned response is every time someone comes near me, go ballistic, then that's the cycle that continues to be fed. I'm changing the cycle. In this next example, I've now got Leo with Hannibal, the Briard. Hannibal is dog reactive. So much so that he tries to bite other dogs and sometimes would get frustrated or freaked out, turn around and bite the person walking him. And he's just in a state of panic. What you're going to see is I sit down in the room. I've got Hannibal and Leo with me. Hannibal just lies down and he just parks himself. He's in his lane. I'm not giving these dogs direction. Hannibal's just chilling. As long as Leo doesn't bother Hannibal, Hannibal is not going to bother Leo. He's learned that he can be around other dogs and it doesn't have to be a thing. Okay? Leo is looser than Hannibal. He's in, he's out. He even wants to sniff Hannibal a little bit. Now, for Hannibal's training to continue tracking well, I tell Leo to leave Hannibal. It's not fair to allow Leo to encroach upon Hannibal and do it in the name of training, do it to show off to the owner or in a YouTube video and say, hey, look at this reactive dog and I locked him down so tight that I could let this dog harass him. No, that's not fair. I always want my dogs to know that when they train, they win. If you want to be left alone by dogs and you're listening to me, I guarantee you your safety. You're going to be left alone by dogs. I've raised his ability to withstand a dog in his presence, right? He was not able to do that before. And now he is. And so I have to be fair, right? I've got to meet him halfway. I have to know what is enough for Hannibal. When is it enough and when is it too much? So Leo comes in and then I tell him to leave it and he does. And then Leo is just off bouncing around the room. You can see a looseness and a flow to Leo. And I think at one point I even call Leo, oh yeah, I call Leo in because he was at the other end of the room sniffing around for a piece of kibble somewhere. And I call him in and he comes flying right in. And you can see several things right in that clip. And I'll slow it down so you get to watch it. You can see how loose and floppy Leo is. So absence of stress, absence of preoccupation with survival around another dog. You can see the proximity that Leo just cuts right across Hannibal's space, okay? Like on Seinfeld, close talker, just boom, as if Hannibal's not there. And you can see Hannibal not react at all. So that's aces, right? Big points for that. You can also see Hannibal kind of side-eye Leo a little bit. Like, do I need to be concerned that he's coming into my space? But no reaction. So there's a lot going on there, a lot. And that was just a fantastic moment for me in my day when both of those dogs are advancing in their training, and then I'm emailing the owners later on and, hey, guess what? And look at these photos and blah, blah, blah. So that's another example where I'm not giving the dogs commands. I'm not asking them for obedience. I'm not distracting them with other things. We're now getting to the point where the dogs, I won't say can self-govern because that's a little too big. That's misleading. But where they don't need as much input, as much steering input, and they kind of get what we want. And when they do need that steering input, I'm a trainer. I'm right there to give it to them. I'm not going to risk them going off the rails. So I'll give it when it's needed, but you can see in these clips how it isn't needed. Come on, honey. So here's two dog reactive dogs. And they're both towards the end of their training. And you're going to see them interact with me. And you're probably not going to see them interact with each other. Leo, leave it. Hanny, leave it. Probably not going to see much interaction between them. So what so look at that. Nice. Nice. That's good. So what we're after with dog reactive dogs, and it's different depending on the type of reactivity. If you have a dog that's reactive because they're goofy and social and hyperbolic and they want to interact and play, that's one thing. If you have a dog that wants to do damage or may want to do damage or is unsure of themselves and could combust, that's a different kind of reactivity, and that's where these two guys fit. He would try and bite other dogs and then would sometimes frustrate when he couldn't get towards the other dog and turn around and bite the person holding his leash. Leo, leave it. Leave it. And he was very much the same. Now, for the most part, he's not even going to look at him. And I've got some video of him with a lab who's super intense, can piss off the happiest of dogs. It just is intensity. He's not a bad guy. He's a super sweet dog, but he's just big in his energy. I've got video of him right in front of that dog in a crate, barking at him like you don't know. And he'll just ignore it. So just like now, look at Leo walking around the room, sniffing my pants. He really wants me to play with him. He wants this. We could do this all day. He just wants that. And this guy is just lying there going, okay, this will be over soon enough. He looks like me sitting in the dentist chair during my cleaning. It's like, I'll tolerate this, and when we're done, and I'll move on with my day. That's what we want from our reactive dogs. We just want them to be socially neutral. Leo's walking around the room, sniffing, making sure no one left a stray piece of kibble somewhere, doing dog stuff. Hey, Leo. Look at that. Leave it. Oh. Oh, good boy. Good boy. Clean up your face a little bit. Okay, so I call him. He comes running in. Big energy. Right in front. This guy says, not sure about this one because the energy's a little bigger. What is the intent? And he just looks and observes and maybe readies himself and then goes back to flopping on the ground. So this is exactly what I'm after when I want a dog to be socially neutral. Okay, it goes far beyond being obedient to commands. Of course we need that, but more than that, I want to build a dog's tolerance. I want the dog to learn to withstand being around other dogs, and that it's okay to be around other dogs as long as everybody minds their manners. So a couple of times Leo came in and I asked him to leave it because it's not fair to Hannibal. I'm not going to self-aggrandize and victimize the dog and show you, hey, look, this dog used to try and kill dogs and I can make him. No, that's not fair to the dog. Okay, that's just dog trainer marketing. That's just bravado and ego and arrogance and marketing, and I won't do that to a dog. So I want to be fair. I need to show this dog, hey, if you do this, because we've worked hard on getting this, and it's not his natural state. If you give me this, in return for this, I guarantee you the easiest time possible. I guarantee you safe passage, right? If we play by the rules, we should get the benefit of the rules, right? Respect goes both ways. Lily. Now, his playful state, okay, come on. His playful state tells me absolutely that he's comfortable. In this next example, I've got Molly, a Bernedoodle, who's super dog reactive, so much so that walks are a nightmare for her owner. Now I'm actually doing something with the dog. This is the opposite of what I've been talking about. This is day 2 that she's at the kennel, so it's actually day 1 of training. And I've got her out with me, and there's another dog. I think it might be a Border Collie or a Border Collie mix. I don't remember the clip off the top of my head. Behind the fence in the exercise yard, and I'm working with Molly. And I work with her away from there to illustrate and establish some points, and then I work with her in front of the fence, and then away, and then back in front. And what I'm showing is it's seamless. There's no difference in her behavior when I'm working away from the dog or near the dog. And her focus is there, and her kind of pranciness is there, which I love. I like to see a dog just strut its stuff in training. And sure enough, this is day 2 of training, and she's doing great. Good. So loose leash, and I'm walking her around. And we've got this dog right here. Molly, sit. Good. Molly, okay. Hi. So there's different kinds of dog reactive. There's, okay, I like you too. There's dog reactive where the dogs are nervous and fearful or aggressive. And then there's dog reactive where the dog is just silly and ridiculous and out of their minds with excitement and playfulness. And that's where she fits. Molly, heel. So we're not trying to deny her access. Good girl. We're not trying to deny her access to other dogs. Good girl. Good dog. We're trying to show her that it can happen when we say it can happen. No different than putting down a food dish and telling the dog to wait, and then it's okay to have it. You're not trying to withhold food from the dog. You're just teaching the dog not to knock the food out of your hand, not to get wild as you're putting the dish down. There's just some conditions that you're applying. So I'm teaching the dog, come on, babe. Come on, good girl. So you see that gentle leash pressure? I'm guiding her back into position. Good dog. Oh, yeah, good. Oh, good. So pay big for big performances. Good girl. What? You're so good. I'm real big on what picture sits inside the dog's picture frame. Fast forward to today, where it's now 1 week that she's there, and someone comes in with a really nervous, really reactive collie. And I take some time with the owners and explain what I'm seeing in the dog. And then I say, just a minute, I'm going to go get a dog. And I come out with Molly. And I don't tell them who Molly is and what Molly's story is. And I just come out with Molly. And now I'm back to the point of this video where I'm doing nothing with Molly. I'm not telling her to leave it. And we're 3 to 4 feet from the collie, and the collie's like barking and screaming at her. The collie is putting out big, big, big waves of energy at her. And she's just hanging out, looking around. She's not easy with the collie. I mean, no dog would be easy with that in their face. But I'm not having to give her direction. And that's huge. And then, take it a step further. I hand Molly over to one of the collie's owners, because I want to take the collie and just explore a little bit with him. And that person is there for a consult. They're not a dog trainer. I haven't given them direction on what to do. I'm basically just saying, please secure this dog for me. Hold on to her. She's sweet with people. She'll be your best friend. and I'm going to play around with your dog and start to put your dog up on the lift and run a scanner over your dog. And Molly was as easy as pie with that lady. And then the collie started to calm down when I was handling him. Didn't take too long.
That's what he did. Right. You want to give him again?
Nope.
No.
Can you take Molly's switch?
Come on.
She matches your...
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, good.
That's your. You okay there, Connie?
So is he trying to attack her?
I think he did. He looked like it.
He's not.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't want to.
Okay.
He wants to feel safe.
Okay.
He wants space, safety. If he wanted to attack her, he'd be dragging me now. I gotta get to it. It would look like a target.
But you're.
You mean right now?
Because when he does it, I'm not very big.
That's neither here nor there.
Okay.
His intent is what I'm talking
Okay.
about.
Okay.
Not your lack of facility in handling him. Because I've got a loose leash, and the dog that wants to attack would take advantage of
Okay.
capitalize now.
Okay.
Evaporate. Okay? But if I was standing in the corner and you came in closer with Molly, where'd it go?